Hi everyone, and happy Halloween. This is Pickle of the 2000, and I'm going to be doing a collection video today. This is going to be my VeggieTales VHS collection, 2019 edition. Or actually just my VeggieTales VHS collection. Okay, so I'm doing these by the order of the original VHS release. Let's get started. Here is the first one. This is the VeggieTales Classics release of Where's God When I'm Scared? It says a lesson in handling fear. And this is the Word Entertainment release from 2004. It says Sunday morning values, Saturday morning fun. With Bob and Larry right there. Where's God When I'm Scared contains two hilarious, fully computer animated stories that teach kids a biblical perspective on handling everyday fears. Tales from the Crisper. After watching a scary Frankenstein movie, 5-year-old Junior Asparagus gets some help from an unlikely duo. Bob the Tomato and Larry the Cucumber come to Junior's rescue with a rollicking song teaching him that God is bigger than anything he might be afraid of. Daniel and the Lion's Den. The second segment takes us from Junior's bedroom to ancient Babylon as the VeggieTales gang stages a musical adaptation of the classic Bible story. Larry the Cucumber, playing the role of Daniel, finds himself in deep trouble thanks to the king's conniving wise man, a trio of slippery scallions. In the end, Daniel learns that even in the lion's den, he is still in God's hand. And special bonus features the Water Buffalo song. Yep, Word Entertainment. Although this is a 2004 DVD release, 2004 VHS release, the copyright date still reads 2003 for some strange reason, even though this is actually a 2004 VHS release. And here's the ink label. It's got a green tape on it. And for previews, it has a preview for Jonah, a VeggieTales movie, and The Ballad of Little Joe at the beginning. And here's the next one. This is the original 1994 VHS release of God Wants Me to Forgive Them. This is the only original VeggieTales VHS release I have. The others are re-releases. Beautifully animated, brilliantly written, says Moody Magazine. God Wants Me to Forgive Them. Oh, and by the way, from Where's God When I'm Scared to Larry Boy and the Rumor Weed, they would use Softimage software but then beginning in 2000 with King George and the Ducky, they started using Maya animation. Alright. Okay. Beautifully animated, brilliantly written, says Moody Magazine. God Wants Me to Forgive Them contains two fully animated stories that teach children a biblical perspective on forgiveness. The Grapes of Wrath. What do you get when a bunch of very cranky grapes make fun of a 5-year-old Junior Asparagus? One sad asparagus and one big problem. Can Junior's dad show the grapes the error of their ways? Will Junior ever be able to forgive them? Does anybody know what 70 times 7 is? Learn the answers to these questions and more as Larry the Cucumber tells the story of The Grapes of Wrath. Larry's Lagoon. A 3-hour boat tour takes a turn for the worse when first mate Larry absent-mindedly crashes into an uncharted tropical island. Can Skipper Bob and the passengers possibly forgive Larry for making such a huge blunder? While the professor discovers how many contraptions can be built out of bamboo and coconuts, the others discovered the real reasons God wants us to forgive. Kids of all ages will love the original music and groundbreaking animation in each half-hour episode of VeggieTales. And special bonus features, the Forgive-O-Matic. And here's the tape with the sticker label on it. Yes, and this is the only VeggieTales release I have that has the original 1994 to 97 version of the VeggieTales theme. The other releases, VHS releases I have the 1998 version of the VeggieTales theme, with the exception of the toy that saved Christmas and the Ultimate Silly Song Countdown. These don't have the VeggieTales theme at all. Okay, back to the topic. There are no previews at the beginning of God Wants Me to Forgive Them. Alright, here's the next one. This is the Lyric Studios re-release of VeggieTales Are You My Neighbor? And by the way, Where's God When I'm Scared came out in 1993, and God Wants Me to Forgive Them came out in 1994. This is the Lyric Studios re-release of Are You My Neighbor? Are You My Neighbor was originally released on VHS in 1995. And it says, Extraordinary, says Washington Post. A lesson in loving your neighbor. It says, Are You My Neighbor contains 2 hilarious, fully computer animated stories to teach kids a biblical perspective on loving others. The Story of Flibberaloo. Big Ideas award-winning writing and animation bring the parable of the Good Samaritan to life in this delightful storybook adaptation of the biblical tale. Through rhyme and song, kids learn that loving your neighbor means helping those in need, even if they don't live next door. The gourds must be crazy. Join 5-year-old Junior Asparagus and the crew of the USS Apple Pies as they boldly go where no vegetable has gone before. Can Junior and Ship's engineer Scooter repair the apple pies before a giant meteor smashes it to bits? And what about oddball crew members Jimmy and Jerry Gourd? Could they possibly help? This hilarious sci-fi spoof shows kids that loving your neighbor means appreciating those who are different instead of making fun. And special bonus features the Water Buffalo song. No, the Hairbrush song. Special bonus features the Hairbrush song. And here's something interesting. Although it shows the 1998 design of Bob and Larry right there, in the Big Idea logo, it shows the 1995 Bob and Larry design in the logo, despite this being the 1998 design. To the left of Sunday Morning Value, Saturday Morning Fun, this is the 98 design, and this is the 95 design. And here is the tape with the sticker label, and it's a green tape. And the print date on here is June 10th, 2000. This tape only contains a preview for Larry Boy and the Rumor Weed at the beginning. Okay, and here's the next one, the Lyric Studios re-release of Rakshak Benny. Deliciously silly, says Detroit Free Press. A lesson in handling peer pressure. And of course, this stars the first appearance of Mr. Nether on there. There's trouble brewing at the Nether Chocolate Factory. To celebrate the sale of their 2 millionth Chocolate Bunny, company president Nebby K. Nether announces that his workers may eat as many bunnies as they like. This sounds great until 3 boys named Rakshak and Benny remembered that their parents taught them not to eat too much candy. Can the boys do what is right even when all their friends are doing something else? And why is Mr. Nether building a 90-foot tall chocolate bunny? Rakshak and Benny are about to find out just how risky it is to stand up for what you believe in by paralleling the biblical story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and the fiery furnace. Rakshak and Benny teaches kids how to resist peer pressure in a fun, new way. Kids of all ages will love the songs, humor, and dazzling 3D computer animation of VeggieTales. And the special bonus feature on here is Dance of the Cucumber. This time it contains the 1998 Bob and Larry design in here and in the Big Idea logo on the back cover. And that's what happens with the rest of the releases until 2000. And here's tape with the ink label, sticker label, and it's a black tape. And the print date is August 2nd, 1998. This tape contains a preview for Dave and the Giant Pickle at the beginning, and at the end it contains previews for Where's God When I'm Scared and Are You My Neighbor? And the last release I'll show you for part 1 is the Lyric Studios re-release of Dave and the Giant Pickle. Oh, and Rakshak and Benny also came out in 1995. This one, Dave and the Giant Pickle, came out in 1996 originally on VHS. Deliciously silly, says Detroit Free Press. A lesson in self-esteem. Have you ever felt like you were too little to do anything big? That's how a little shepherd boy named Dave feels when his big brothers head off to defend their country, leaving Dave behind with the sheep. Big people do big things, and little people do little things, they tell him. They're in for a surprise, though, when they find out their foe is much bigger than they thought. Is anyone able to take on a 9-foot pickle? But wait! Who's that running out to challenge that mighty warrior? It kinda looks like, could it be Dave? In this hilarious retelling of the Bible story of David and Goliath, Bob the Tomato and Larry the Cucumber teach kids that it makes no difference whether you're 9 feet tall or 2 feet tall. With God's help, even little guys can do big things. Kids of all ages will enjoy the songs, humor, and dazzling 3D computer animation of VeggieTales. Special appearance by world-famous superhero Larry Boy. And the special bonus feature is Love My Lips. And here is tape the sticker label, and it's a black tape again. And the print date on here is September 16th, 1998. This has the same previews as the Rakshak and Benny VHS, except as a preview for Rakshak and Benny at the beginning. Alright, that's it for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 coming soon.